Alrighty, welcome back. We just done and completed the first step of what I think is most important if you want to build a hot rod from nothing. Generally, most old cars that you get need a floor or floor pieces or floor pans, whatever they need. What I like to do is, I told you yesterday, is I like to make the whole thing and make a skeleton of the frame and slide it up inside the car. So if Jolene wants to come over a little closer, it's not all welded up, it's just tacked together. But what I did do yesterday, after the video shut down, I bent some more square stock and put it up over top of the rear end. I usually do not bend it the shape of the frame in the back. I just lay it on there, and then, you know, I'd tack, it'd be a straight piece there, there'd be a little gap there. And it would not matter, because when you put your wheel well on, if you can picture it, when you put your wheel well on, I had one made there yesterday, I showed you, had a 5-inch piece or a 6-inch piece on the top of it, and the wheel well was made. That wheel well shoves on the side of that and gets spot welded to this square stock here. And when that gets spot welded on, you don't see it. But what I did yesterday, I said, what the hey, I'm going to go for it. I had a nice little thing there to bend it with, the front end. And I bent it around there, and I got it to fit the frame exactly. What I did is I left all the square stock about 1/8 out from the chassis. And the reason I only left it out 1/8 is because that body out there was barely fitting on this chassis, and that's why I did what I did. Some of these, you can make it come out further if you want to. You know, you can make it come out a little further, like I said, if you want to. You can see I've put the mounts on. These are the mounts inside. I could not mount anything on the outside because it's not going to work. So all the mounts are on the inside. Do not know yet what I'm doing, if I'm going to drill a hole in the floor pan so I can put the bolt in and bolt the floor down, or if I'm going to tack or weld the bolt on and then just nut it from the bottom. So the bolts would already be there, you put the car down, the bolts go through the holes, and you just nut it up. Or if I'm going to drill a hole in the floor pan. So basically, that's basically where I'm going with that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 10 mounts. I got 10 mounts so far. You could mount it in the center in a couple places if you want to. I used this little kit here I got from Speedway, and they had these little brackets in there. These are the smaller ones, actually right here. These are the smaller ones. They got a little tip bent up on the edge of them. But what I did is I used the thicker ones. I think these are probably 1/8 or better. And you can tell how the corners are bent up, where the corners are bent up there, and I cut them off to get them to fit. It's like a little gusset, so it makes it stronger when you pull down on that. That little tip that's bent up on that corner makes that stronger when it pulls that down. So I enjoyed that part because it gusseted the mount that made it go on the frame. When we apply the body on that, or on this, the A pillar, if you can picture it, the A pillar is the first pillar that comes down where the door hinges. So the door comes down in the front, and it's got the hinges on it. Well, that A pillar, that's what's going to come here and weld onto this piece. That's where that A pillar is going to sit right here, weld on that, and that's where it's going to set. The B pillar is the pillar where the door latches and shuts. That's going to come down and hit on this part of on the skeleton. Before we put the body on, this is a mistake I've made before. I've made a skeleton like this and was very happy with it, shoved it up inside the car, and it worked. But when I got the skeleton done and I got the body on, then I had to go underneath the car and put the inside sill on because I had forgot to put the inside sill on. And I'm going to do that on this video. I'm going to do the second step. So the first step is to make a skeleton, get it bolted down where you want it bolted down at, or mounted down, get your mounts made. And the second step is to put that inside sill on. So if we come take a look at Elvis here, I think I probably welded them and filled them. But basically on any car, I'm thinking that the floor is laid on the frame, so that floor panel will be laid on the frame. And then the car would be set down on the frame, or on the floor right here. This is the A pillar, so that would set on top of, we call it our sill, or the sill of the car, and it would set right here. You'll notice sometimes when you fix cars, there is a piece that comes out here and it goes across and it goes down, and there's usually spot welded in there where that sits down on there. And that's how the car is made. So the frame would roll out, the floor would be laid on it, and then they would lower the car down on and spot weld the car down to the floor. Basically, that's the exact same thing what I'm doing there, but I'm using square stock and just doing it however I want to do it. I've not punched anything out, haven't got the machine to punch a floor out and do all that stuff. So that's the sill of this car. Right there is the sill of this car. And when we have the sill directly on top of the chassis, it's not going nowhere unless you bend the chassis and bend the sill. So we're all good. What else are we going to show? I think that was about it. When the car goes on, when we pick the car up and put it on, when I put the inside sill on, that means that the outside of the car, so the post is going to sit, the A-pillar is going to sit down on the post, but then the outside of the car can come in and connect to the inside sill. On this car, I got a piece welded here, obviously, to cover my leg pipe, but this is the sill right here. That's the sill underneath here, right there. That goes underneath and then spot welds together. On this piece that comes down, straight down through, is the inside sill. So your floor comes over, inside sill goes straight down, your outside sill comes over and comes down around and spot welds on. So basically that's what I'm doing here. I'm putting the inside sill on. When I put the inside sill on, then I fit the A pillar and the B pillar. When the quarter panel comes down, then it comes down like this, then it goes in and connects the inside sill. You can imagine how hard it would be to put the inside sill on if I never did it before I put the car on. So basically, I don't know if you can see in there or not. Here, I'll go over here just for a second, just to show it. What the hey, that's what we're doing. So this is the inside sill. This is where the post is going on the skeleton over there. It's coming down, hitting on the skeleton right here. That's where the B pillar is going to hit. This is my inside sill right here. So the quarter panel's out here, then it comes down, and then meets it at the bottom. So that's exactly what I'm doing over there on the skeleton, is I am making the inside sill. So when I set the car down on, the outside quarter panel can come down and connect onto it. We know on this one, I'm making it a high boy, so I'm keeping the body on top of the chassis. I don't want to lower it, and I don't want to make it low. I want to give it a lean a little bit. I want it to lean forward. I'm not making a gasser. I'm making a hot rod. Littles and bigs. Gassers high in the front. Well, it's a straight axle, but it's high in the front and whatever, high in the back. But I'm making a hot rod, so I'm leaving the rake on it. I'm also leaving the body on top of the chassis. It's going to go down over top a little bit, but not that much. So on this one, I'm going to make the inside sill just to show you how easy it is. And we're not going to try not to take that long because me and Jolene are heading out. And we'll carry you with us, obviously. What else am I going to say? So if I was taking the 40 Ford out there, the coupe, and I was lowering down, I want it to channel the car, if I wanted to channel it. If I wanted to channel the car, what I would do is I would make the inside sill longer than the frame. So I'd make the sill down about here, the inside sill. And what would happen is when I put the car on, I wouldn't be setting this A-pillar on top of this. I would be sliding it down past. So the A-pillar wouldn't come down here like this. The A-pillar would come down here like this. When the A-pillar comes down here like that, and then I would connect it down lower. So the A-pillar would go down by this if you're channeling something. Channeling that car on here would be a difficult thing because the A-pillar is right on the chassis. We're right on the chassis. We'd have to pinch it a little bit so the A-pillar would go down by, or we'd have to open it up a little bit. So in order to channel something, you just make the inside sill longer, and let the A-pillar go down by. And this is what I suggest if you want to channel something. This is what I suggest. If you have your A-pillar, you know where the floor hits. You just, in a little bit of investigation, you know where the A-pillar and the B-pillar, where the floor is. I know where it's at because it's out there, it's in there. So what I would do is I would measure up on the A and B pillar, however much I want to channel. Say if I want to channel it 6 inches, if I wanted to channel it the whole frame. What I would do is I'd measure up on the A pillar and the B pillar all the way around. I would weld a piece of angle iron or whatever you want, 6 inches up. So weld a piece of angle iron comes flat there and goes out this way. So when you pick the car up, the car goes down past where it's supposed to hit, and it hits in this part where this angle iron is, would hit on this. So that means you would have channeled it 6 inches. You want to channel it a foot, measure up a foot, and then angle iron it, put an angle iron in, do the same with the back, do the same all the way around, and then you would lower it down that much. But make sure, if you channel it that far, that you've got enough inside sill, piece of metal coming down, that when your quarter panel comes down here, when you've channeled it down, your quarter panel can come down and go to it. And this is another thing. When I put this piece on, I'm going to put more on than I need because I can just do it like the old pies, you know. You put more crust on than you need, then you take your knife and cut it off. So when I put the car on, I bring the metal over to the inside sill. Whatever's left, I just cut it off. So when you want to channel it, put 1.5 feet on there, you channel it a foot, bring it down, make it look good all the way along. Whatever's left over, then you just cut it off. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to get a piece of metal and I'm going to do an inside sill. I have a smaller piece of metal that I could probably cut in the shear. It would take 2 or 3 pieces to make the inside sill. I could take it down there at the shear and cut it and have the inside sill made out of a few pieces. I've got a full sheet of metal there. I'm just going to set it on the car, trace it out, and go for it. Also, got a nice bumper for the front of the 40, do we not? Just like that. Never even thought of it until now. I'm going to take this pair here. Got some metal over by Elvis. I do not want to hit Elvis. This is 18 gauge. Now, it's 18 gauge. I've got a wheel well traced out on that, but I guess it doesn't matter. When I do the inside sill, you can take a bead roller and put a nice bead in it or something, because most inside of cars, if you look on the inside of a car, on the inside sill, it's usually not very hard against your frame. On this one, we're hard up against the frame because of the body that we're applying to it. That's the issue we're having. It's a bigger chassis than what is supposed to be for that car. But on most cars, there's a gap in between there. Here's the frame. The inside sill would be 4 or 5 inches away. And usually they have some kind of bead rolling done in there, or some kind of, maybe punched in some, I don't know, some ovals or whatever. But you can bead roll this and do fancy work on the inside. Not going to do it on this one because we're only going down a couple inches. Also, you would never see it. So if you're never going to see it, I don't worry about it. All right. Also, we know I got a mark back here. This is where the quarter panel stopped. I got a little bit longer, but a little bit longer than I have to, I guess, just for the hay of it. I'm just going to make it go up to there. Where the wheel well goes on, so this is the inside sill. And then when I cut the wheel wells out of the car, the wheel wells will go inside the car, hit this right here, and then they'll weld on the car. So the inside wheel well of the car, we weld it up here, and then it will be spot welded here, just like on your original car. So basically what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to apply that like that. Wish I could push it back further, but it is what it is. I'm going to make one piece out of it, and hopefully I can make. So I'm going to bring the inside sill to the top of this metal, just tracing it. I could have made it out of 2 or 3 pieces. All right. Now I'm going to do 4 inches. We're not coming down over 4 inches, but like I said before, we want more than we need. So when it comes down over, when we connect our quarter panel or wherever we're connecting, we'll have more than we need. Then we just cut it off. I'm going to let my dog in because it's my dog. I'm coming, Fina, I'm coming. Jolene looks amazing this morning. Got her hair in a couple braids. Yeah, it's kind of cute, eh? She's cute, boy. She's cute. That's for sure. She's cute. I got a protractor here. I'm just going to open it up 4 inches, and I'm going to run along that line. See if I can't make it 4 inches, just so it looks good. I'm just going to go there. I'll tighten it, and I'll do both for the same for both sides. So basically what I'm going to do, get my glasses on. I know that was a lot of talking this morning, but it is what it is. It is what it is, isn't it, baby? It is what it is. So I'm just going to keep that on that black line and trace another line. And remember, I'm going to end up cutting some of this off. The reason being is I'm not going to need it all. I don't know why I'm widening out here, am I? Take a look. Guess it doesn't matter if it's wider, but just wasn't taking off on me. Yeah, should be fine. Should be fine. Alrighty. Now I've got to cut that. Da-da-da-da. Where did I put that at? Bum, 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 bum. This was a nice gift because I use it a lot. Not saying everything else isn't, but I use it quite a bit actually. I like it. It does not, they're working good. They're working good. Now I'm going to cut this off. And what I'll probably end up doing is trace that right onto another one. I got the line right there, and then maybe I can do one on top of it in this part. Awesome. Hard to cut a big full sheet of metal by yourself. It is so. Believe it or not, it is. Oh, damn it. I didn't like that. Damn it. But I'm going to be cutting it off, so it don't matter. Just didn't like doing that. That's all. Just didn't like doing it. I was drunk. But I wasn't. But I wasn't. Beautiful. Alrighty. Let's cut another one. Be nice to stay on the line on this one. This is the bottom part, so this is where it's too long, so I'll be able to cut that goofy looking cut off. It happens, man. It happens to the best of us. It happens. Any little thing that catches can mess you up. Go from behind. Oh. Should be the same, sort of. Not sort of, it should. We want two. That was good. That was good. That worked out good. That worked out really good. I cannot complain. That worked out good. Just check and see if it's where it needs to be. One more time. I have to cut that end off because I'm a little long. That's okay. Let's cut this one. I can cut the line on. Don't matter if I cut the line or if I don't cut the line on this one, because I'm going to be cutting it off at the bottom. So. You hold a hard old cut for a zip cut or, you know, something else. This tool is the right one for the job, in my opinion. In my opinion is my belly button. Everybody's got one. Alrighty. I had a mark on that and I could have figured it. Ooh, these are all set. No, they're not set. Just hold it for me. Got to weld that up and grind it off. Hello. Almost made a boo-boo. Well, not a boo-boo, but just would be nice to have that welded up, obviously. Flapper wheel, knock it off just a little tiny bit, just to smooth it up. I can get the inside when we turn it upside down. I was thinking even maybe I might get fancy and make all the floor, make the inside sill, make everything, and paint the floor and everything before I put it in. See what happens. See what happens. And what I mean by just paint the underneath the floor, and if I burn it off when I'm putting on the inside sill, it wouldn't matter much. But I don't want to take it all off. I just want to take some of it off. There's still a piece has to go in for the seats, or a seat or whatever to brace it up, but that's, you know, when I put the seat in it, I guess. Yeah. I can cut it off up front later. Beautiful. You are Jolie. Beautiful. I can cut that off after, but it's going so good that I got all these clamps here. I may as well use them. I may as well use them, you know. You can never have too many clamps, especially when you're blowing a bubble or something, you know. Like, you can never have too many clamps. Alrighty. I've got that down just nice on that edge there, so the piece is not up above. I like that. No, I love that. Stand them up so I can actually get at something. So I can get at to weld it. I used to do as everybody else did, or everybody else does, and that would be drill a hole in it and then plug weld it on the side. I don't do that anymore, and I'll tell you the reason why I don't do that anymore is because I've had it come off, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. When I drill the hole in it, you plug weld it on, you think you got it. Also, when I spot weld it on there, you have to grind it off to get it off, because I know I've got it. Basically, that's a bit tight. I think I should have something maybe underneath there to separate that, bring it out a little bit, because it's right tight against the car. I don't want it that tight, I don't think. I want it out just a bit. Just shove this one underneath of it. Come on. Come on, baby. You can tell it's tight. I don't want it that tight. Give us some gap. Thank you, sweetheart. You're the best. She's the best, boy. She's the best. And I got all these on there because I just want it tight when I weld it. That's basically it. Alrighty. There's one for here. Did that fall off somewhere? Right there. Good. Now I'm just going to burn that on. Good. I could have just welded it on and pulled it out, but to weld it on now and have that piece in there, so I got a little bit of a gap going on, is good. I can pull it out after that if I want to. Just want to make sure everything's tight. I got a little bit up on that right there. Not worried about it. Not this second, I'm not. Let's go back. Pop that on after. When it comes to the inside of the door, the A-pillar will be here, and there'll be a door here, obviously. Where the door is, that'll probably get welded solid and ground off nice. All this stuff here, you're not going to see. Remember that hole that we had? It's going to be covered. So this method I'm showing you, it does not matter if it's a 57 Chevy, a 48 Lincoln, or a whatever, it does not matter, because this will work for any 4 application. We're tied up, so tight against the frame on this one because of the car that we're putting on. If not, you could come out a little bit further if the frame is narrow. Does not matter, as we are building it our own way. Now, that's not fitting right there. I want to just whirl that down a little bit. There, still plugged in. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Gotta go this way. Wheel well is going up here. There'll be the wheel well, so the wheel well will go against here, and then the piece that comes out will come down and come on here, and then we'll weld it along this. And that closes that off, if you understand what I'm saying. And if you don't, you will. Oh, Lincoln throwing out the welds this morning, isn't it? What? Lincoln throwing out the welds this morning. Alrighty, that's the inside sill. Basically, I'm going to stop there because you know what I'm going to do on the other side. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Pull this out. Now we got a little bit of gap in there in between the frame and the body because we put the gap in there with the metal. So when that body goes down on there, it's really going to fit tight where we have it, but you must understand that a lot of this is getting cut off. You know, we're coming to the top of the frame. We're going to be getting it cut off. And that's the inside sill. So now when we put the car on, the quarter panel will come down, come in, got something to go to. When the wheel well goes on, the wheel well will go up against this here, and I'll do the exact same to all them spot welds. I'll spot weld it all the way from the back side, the wheel well, I'll spot weld it all in. The piece that comes down around here will go on here and weld along this. We'll close off the quarter panel. So the quarter panel will go here and in, and then the wheel well will close it off on the back side where the fender goes. All right, everybody, we're going to take you with us. We're going to the Toronto Motorama, and we're excited. We have to take off. Jolene's got to post this video so everybody gets to watch. And that's part 2. Make sure you do not forget to put your inside sills on before you put your body on. Man, you look good, Jolene.